Lin Feng crossed the Tianxuan Continent, cracked the search system at the beginning, and took control of his own system. He single-handedly challenged the Tianxuan Continent Realm Master, wildly teasing the Heavenly Dao. Unable to return to the Blue Star, he lived a reclusive life in Zhulin Village, Qingxuan City. Qingxuan Sect recruited disciples, but Lin Feng unexpectedly became a miscellaneous disciple. Lin Feng never intended to expose the identity of a big shot. However, every item and action of Lin Feng, the leader, will increase the cultivation level of cultivators and trigger a vibration in the cultivation world. Lin Feng is a coveted treasure in the cultivation world. The fairies all want to give Lin Feng a monkeyImmortals, all want to be disciples and subordinates of Lin Feng. Chapter 1. Invincible. At the beginning, I cracked the system. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brain storage. Lin Feng, the king of Blue Star Scrolls. Sudden death on the 100th night of working overtime with the boss's daughter. Traverse to the world of cultivating immortals in the heavenly mysterious continent. Crossing the mysterious continent, Lin Feng naturally had a system, but who knew that the system was a search engine? The reward given to each task is not appreciated by the dog. Lin Feng has 100,000 reasons to fully suspect that this dog system is taking kickbacks. In a fit of anger, Lin Feng unleashed the spirit of continuous combat on Blue Star for 100 days and nights, and forcefully cracked this dog system. After cracking the system, Lin Feng discovered that he would receive Heavenly Dao points for each system task. The reward given by the system does not even have a reward of 1,000th of the Heavenly Dao value. Lin Feng, who cracked the system, became tough. No longer need to be affected by the system's bird odor. Make decisions on your own system. Lin Feng changed his cultivation to full level. Dan Dao talent has been changed to full level. Change the constitution to the strongest chaotic body in the universe. Change the qualification to the strongest chaotic qualification in the universe. Lin Feng, who has become hard, feels a bit floating. I once had tea with the heavenly mysterious continent lord, and his tea was very fragrant and even more beautiful. Of course, drinking tea and other things are all polite words. In other words, it means feeling invincible and going to find someone else to compete with. Tianxuan Continent Lord, the strongest administrator of this world. I have also teased the Heavenly Way. I originally wanted to ruin the Heavenly Way scene, but I found out that Heavenly Way is very similar to my crush on my girlfriend. The invincible Lin Feng lifted his majestic spirit. Flirting Tiandao girl duoer up and down. Now I have to ask Tiandao, who does he dislike the most? Of course it is Lin Feng, who does he miss the most? That, of course, is also Lin Feng. Unfortunately, Lin Feng kept avoiding, and the Heavenly Way had its own rules and limitations, so the body could not move around freely. And then he crossed the long river of invincibility for 10,000 years. How Lin Feng wants to find his way back to the Blue Star. Does anyone know the way back to the Blue Star? Lin Feng wants to go back and break the chaos, introducing the spiritual energy from the chaos into the Blue Star. Embark on the era of Blue Star cultivation. Everyone can cultivate immortals with such blue stars, and everyone is a strong person. There won't be another 996, there will be no more King of Scrolls, there are no more unpaid mortgage payments. There will also be no evil capitalists who can suffocate people. Some are full of spiritual energy, and everyone cultivates immortality. Today, Lin Feng lives in seclusion in Zhulin Village, living a mundane life every day. It is also a commemoration of the unsuccessful search for the Blue Star Road. Work at sunrise and rest at sunset every day. During the day, I paint, write poetry, teach children how to read and cook, looking at the Milky Way at night, missing the way back to my hometown. Zhulin Village is a mortal village, occasionally visited by cultivators. The villagers always cast envious gazes, hoping that their children could also cultivate immortality. Lin Feng also learned to cast envious glances, and during his years of seclusion in a mortal village, he adapted to a life without cultivation. I am also willing to live in this way. Lin Feng came to Zhulin Village, which took special care of him as an outsider. It has been 10 years since then. From time to time, villagers would give Lin Feng some wild animal meat and some clothes. At the same time, Lin Feng also teaches the children in the village to read and write. It's time for the once-in-5-year Qingxuan Sect to select disciples. Some disciples of Qingxuan Sect with better strength will be sent by the sect to various villages and towns to select talented disciples. This is also a moment that the villagers have been eagerly anticipating. On this day, the village square was crowded with people, and Lin Feng was also among the crowd. Lin Feng sighed at the old village chief Zhang and said, "Uncle Zhang, is cultivation really that good?" Zhang sighed for a moment and then said seriously, "Child, you are still too young to know the benefits of cultivating immortality. If our village can produce a cultivator, then everyone in our village can also benefit from it. Look at those cultivators flying back and forth in the sky every day, how wonderful." Lin Feng listened to the village chief's words and muttered to himself, "Is cultivation really that good? Perhaps it's because I'm too invincible, unable to withstand the cold from high places." Anyway, Lin Feng casually waved 10 beams of light that ordinary people couldn't detect and flew into the 10 children to be selected this year. Those children only felt their spirits flicker and then returned to normal. Everyone went from having no qualifications to having top-notch qualifications. Soon, a middle-aged man with long robes and hair, along with a fairy dressed in glass clothing, flew over from a distance in the sky. The male is Elder Liu from the outer sect of Qingxuan Sect, and the female is the third-ranked beauty on the outer sect list, Luo Wuqi and Luo Xianzi. As the two immortals approached, the villagers became boiling. "The immortal is here. The immortal is here." Village chief Zhang quickly maintained order, afraid of leaving a bad impression on the immortal. Because he deeply knows that mortals are ants in front of immortals. Everyone be quiet. Listen to the fairies' instructions. Liu Wushi looked down at the village several hundred people below and whispered to Elder Liu. "Elder Liu, in such a small village, it's probably impossible to find even a disciple with a natural talent for cultivation. It seems we're going to make another trip in vain." Lost in time, with a face full of disappointment. Elder Liu nodded in agreement. He stroked his beard and said, "Who said it's not? But what's the solution? The recruitment task and process of the sect still need to go. Otherwise, he will only go to the big family and big town, and he will be impeached by those guys from the law enforcement hall. Hold on, it will pass in a while, and the habit will be good." Regarding this, Luo Wushi also felt that what Elder Liu said made sense. Elder Liu and Luo had no time to land, standing at the forefront of the crowd. They did not pay attention to Lin Feng's side. Lin Feng is now no different from ordinary people, not actively exposing his cultivation. No one knows that he is a cultivator, at least no one can discover him in this continent. Elder Liu gave a brief introduction to himself and Luo Wushi to the villagers. The villagers all responded and said, "Hello Lu Xianchang, Luo Xianzi." They chattered and tried their best to please. Starting the test, 10 children lined up in a row, their faces filled with joy. Lin Feng is also happy for the children from the beginning. Luo Wushi examined the entire village crowd, all of whom were ordinary people without qualifications. Only when she arrived at Lin Feng's place, although this person had no cultivation, the woman's sixth sense told her that this person was different. But she can't say what's different. At this moment, Lin Feng stood in the crowd, dressed in white clothes, and looked like a teacher. Luo Wuzi couldn't figure it out and didn't think much. He said directly, "The one wearing white clothes from behind, come over and take a test first." When everyone heard this, they were first confused, then burst into laughter. "Mr. Lin, this age is clearly over the limit," said a villager. "Mr. Lin, "You're going to cultivate immortality with us," said a child named Huzi in the Tongli Tongdao. The other children also interacted with Lin Feng. Lin Feng also looked confused. How could he test his talent? Is it so difficult to conceal one's own excellence? Lin Feng greeted the villagers and made a funny face at the children, moving forward slightly without any hesitation. "Fairy, I am just a poor teacher with no talent, so I don't need to test it, right?" Liu Wushuang, looking at the mortal in front of him, seemed to have no fear of her as a cultivator, and was even more convinced of the feeling in his heart. "If I ask you to go, you can go. There's so much nonsense," Elder Liu said indifferently, and he also wanted to see what happened to Lin Feng's hard-to-conceal temperament. The village chief looked at the immortals impatiently and quickly signaled to Lin Feng. Lin Feng could only drive the ducks onto the shelves and walk towards the testing crystal ball on the stone platform. He put his hands up as required, but as time passed, the crystal ball showed no response. Elder Liu and Luo Wuqi both looked bewildered and said, "This is an unparalleled waste that is rare in 10,000 years. There is no talent at all. Ordinary people do not have talent, nor do they know that crystal balls have no reaction at all. It can only be said that crystal balls have very little reaction, and their talent is extremely poor. This person in front of me is really rare to encounter in 10,000 years. This kind of zero talent has been seen in the records of the sect. How can it be easily encountered in reality? Unprecedented waste materials." Chapter 2. With a casual wave, create 10 top-notch talents. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Elder Liu and Luo Wusheng shook their heads and waved Lin Feng down, their faces filled with disappointment. The village chief and villagers also understood the expressions of the two immortals. Village Chief Zhang Danian comforted Lin Feng, "Mr. Lin, don't be discouraged even if you don't have talent. Mr. Lin is the most skilled teacher." Other villagers expressed agreement and said, "Yes, Mr. Lin." Lin Feng knows that this is because the villagers care about themselves. "I understand everyone's kindness, I'm not sad, really." Huzi's father Zhang who pulled Huzi over and said seriously to Lin Feng, "My Huzi must have a talent for cultivation. When I enter the Immortal Sect, let my Huzi take Mr. Lin to the Immortal Sect." The parents of other children are also unwilling to be outdone and use words of comfort, that is the simplicity of the villagers, and they sincerely hope that Lin Feng can also go to cultivate immortality. In their eyes, being able to cultivate immortality is something that can even wake up with a smile while sleeping. Lin Feng listened with a sour smile and said, "I understand everyone's kindness." The villagers were still very enthusiastic and knew they couldn't make them feel cold, so they said, "Okay, you little ones, you must work hard. Whether Lin Feng can enter the Immortal Sect depends on you." Upon hearing Lin Feng's words, Huzi exerted all his strength and responded loudly, "Sir, don't worry. I will definitely practice well and take you to the Immortal Gate to cultivate immortality." Other children were also unwilling to be outdone and expressed their intention to take Lin Feng to the Immortal Sect to cultivate immortality. Elder Liu and Luo Wuqi often see fights and killings in the Immortal Sect, and occasionally hear the conversations and laughter among ordinary people, which makes them happy to listen. The children's test has officially begun. Tiger test first. Tiger father's nervous body straightened. Huzi clenched his teeth, puffed up his breath, and his cheeks were round. Make an expression about the scene of boasting to the adults in the village while killing cows. The challenges faced by representatives are very significant. Lin Feng also looked at Huzi quietly, without any panic. They are all extremely talented, so they should be these two so-called immortals in a panic. As soon as Huzi placed his hands on the crystal ball, the ball immediately experienced a violent reaction. First is the red light. Elder Liu nodded and said, "Not bad, the first child in this village has a talent for cultivating immortals. This beginning is very good." As soon as Elder Liu finished speaking, the red light immediately changed into an orange glow. Elder Liu was surprised and said, "It's a worthwhile trip to have children with orange talents in such a small village." Liu Wushi nodded in agreement. Before the surprise of the two ended, the orange light immediately turned into a blue light. Elder Liu's mouth turned into an O-shaped shape, and he stuttered in surprise. Blue talent. Luo Wuchi was also shocked. Dugubo, the first disciple of the inner sect of the Qing Xuanzong, was only a blue inferior talent. No. This talent is still changing, it's actually top-notch blue. Luo Wutian said in surprise. No. It's turned purple, Elder Liu was stunned. The same goes for Luo Wusher. The villagers watched the wonderful expressions of the two immortals and were puzzled. Only Lin Feng, who is an insider, is serious about having fun there. The people from this immortal sect are quite interesting. Before Elder Liu and Luo Wu could recover from their surprise, the crystal ball exploded into powder as the purple light grew brighter. Startled the surrounding villagers, Elder Liu was truly a terrifying foundation-building cultivator who instantly created a small barrier around the crystal ball, avoiding injuries to the villagers. Of course, if Elder Liu doesn't take action, Lin Feng will also take action, and the villagers won't be in trouble. Elder Liu felt a pain as he looked at the powdered crystal ball. This test crystal ball requires 200 lower-grade spirit stones, and the sect's mission only has one free crystal ball. If it is damaged, you will need to cut your own flesh to purchase the crystal ball to complete the task. Liu Wushi looked at Elder Liu's expression and immediately understood why he was like this. So he whispered, "Elder Liu, it's rare to encounter a disciple with top-notch qualifications for thousands of years. I think the child in front of me is likely to receive a lot of sect rewards." Elder Liu was instantly awakened and smiled at Tiger, saying, "This child has a good talent. Not bad. Not bad." The more you look at a tiger, the more pleasing it becomes. Time passed by minute by second, and Elder Liu still stared straight at Huzi in a daze, his eyes full of spirit stones. This kind of talent requires a reward of at least 10,000 lower-grade spirit stones to be recruited into the sect. No, the blue talent will reward 10,000 lower-grade spirit stones, purple, top-notch. This hasn't appeared in the sect yet, okay. Having no time, he looked at Elder Liu's dull body and quickly went up and shook it, reminding him, "Elder Liu, we need to test a child." Elder Liu woke up in shock and took out a test crystal ball from his storage bag, putting it on and starting the test. Next is the Tigress test, undoubtedly still the same scene as before. In the end, the crystal ball exploded, and although Elder Liu was in pain, considering so many talented disciples, the reward for purchasing the spirit stone crystal balls should not be less than 1,000. After the two explosions that Elder Liu brought, the messenger disciple Lu Meng purchased 7 crystal balls and sent them to Zhulin Village. Lu Meng doesn't have so many spirit stones. Elder Liu asked him to buy them on credit at the Wanbao Pavilion in Qingxuan City and write his name. The news of Elder Liu purchasing a large number of crystal balls spread for a while, and people were speculating about the reasons for the large purchase of crystal balls. But no one would guess that it was a talent test that exploded the ball, because this kind of talent is incredible. The incident of exploding the ball has only been recorded in books, and there has never been such an incredible talent in the current cultivation world. 10 children's talent tests have been completed, and both Elder Liu and Luo Wusher are laughing uncontrollably. "I found a treasure, and it's a rare treasure." 10. If other sects knew about this, they wouldn't even be able to fight against the Qingxuan sect. It must be kept confidential. Elder Liu and Luo Wuchi both understood and understood. After bidding farewell to their parents, Huzi and his companions all left sitting on Elder Liu's giant flying sword. Before leaving, Huzi's father Zhang who instructed Huzi, "Huzi, when you arrive at the immortal sect, you must follow the immortal master to cultivate immortality well. Mr. Lin is still waiting for you to take him to the immortal sect. Remember, Dad." Huzi said as soon as he heard that he was practicing immortality well, he could take Mr. Lin to the immortal gate, showing an extremely excited expression. Parents of other children are also unwilling to be outdone, and have been admonishing their children to cultivate immortality well. After achieving success in cultivation, they will take Lin Feng to the immortal gate for cultivation. Lin Feng could only smile awkwardly, he was just a rural teacher. If he thought of going to Qingxuan Sect to practice, it might be good. He has not yet lived in an immortal sect, so he can experience it. Lin Feng looked at the sunset in the distance, recalling many memories in his mind. An imperceptible tear dripped from the corner of his eye. After all, this place was not his hometown. Or perhaps feeling lonely. There are many fairies in the immortal sect, and Lin Feng also wants to go and see them. A month has passed quickly. During this month, without the smiles of the children, Lin Feng also felt that there was something missing in life. Lin Feng began to look forward to the children's return. But returning is not so easy. As soon as I entered the immortal gate, it was as deep as the sea. There are 2 people walking on this path. In the realm of cultivation, there are many cultivators who have had no chance to visit their families for 100 years. What can Lin Feng expect? Amidst Lin Feng's expectations and disappointment, the divine sense sensed a group of cultivators heading towards Zhulin Village from thousands of miles away, wielding flying swords and feeling very happy. Chapter 3. Qing Xuanzong's crowds visiting family in Zhulin Village. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 4. Lin Feng's dishes stunned cultivators. Breakthrough in place. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. The Lingcao garden was stolen, and Lin Feng was stealing himself. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 6. Liu Wushuang asks for help, Lin Feng defiles the sect's Tianjiao. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 7. Exposure. Lin Feng and Liu Wushuang have an affair. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 8. Zongmen trialed Lin Feng and Liu Wushuang conference. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9. Loki and Zhang shui drunk. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 10. Not only did he not receive punishment, but he also obtained the identity of a personal disciple. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text.